It started with a whisper in the darkness. My room was dimly lit by the pale glow of my computer screen, and I had just drifted into the shallow edges of sleep when I heard a soft, metallic rustle. At first, I thought it was the wind outside my window, but the sound had a rhythm, a precision that no natural breeze could produce. Then a voice. "Human awake?" I jolted upright, my heart hammering against my ribs. The digital clock on my nightstand blinked 3 a.m. in red digits. I rubbed my eyes, convinced I was dreaming. "Who's there?" I whispered, my voice cracking. A soft light flickered from the corner of my room. At first, I thought it was a reflection from the streetlights outside, but the shape solidified. Standing before me was a humanoid figure, slender and ethereal, her skin shimmering with a faint, silvery luminescence. She was unlike anything I had ever seen, her eyes large and iridescent, her hair flowing like liquid metal, and her movements fluid, almost floating rather than walking. I don't understand," I stammered. "Who are you?" "I am Lasara," she said, her voice melodic yet firm. "I have traveled far to find you, human. I need your assistance." I blinked. Assistance? With what? Her gaze softened, almost vulnerable. "To cleanse my body. Please, human. I cannot do it myself." For a moment, I thought this had to be some kind of elaborate dream or hallucination. A midnight visitor? A hallucination from too many late-night sci-fi movies? But the air in my room was thick with an energy I couldn't name, and her presence pressed against reality, like a tidal wave. "Clean your body?" I asked, incredulous. "Yes," Lasara said, stepping closer. "I am a traveler of many worlds, but I have been tainted by cosmic residue. My skin, my cells, even my aura carries particles that are harmful if not properly cleansed. You, human, are the only one with the ability to purify me." I laughed nervously. "I'm not sure Before I could finish, she raised her hand, and the air shimmered around her fingertips. Small motes of light floated like dust around her, glowing faintly before dissipating. "I cannot wait," she said. "It is urgent." I had no choice. Despite the absurdity, the surreal beauty and quiet desperation in her eyes forced me to act. I moved to the bathroom and grabbed a towel and basin, unsure what exactly I was about to do. When I returned, Lasara had reclined onto the edge of my bed. "Begin," she said, extending a luminous hand toward me.
Gently.
I am sensitive. I approached cautiously, dipping my fingers into the warm water. The moment my hands touched her skin, a tingle raced through my body, a mixture of shock and wonder. Her skin was unlike anything human, smooth yet textured with microscopic patterns that shimmered in shifting colors, like galaxies compressed into living tissue. "You feel it," she murmured, her eyes closing. "The energy of your touch. You are remarkable." As I began to cleanse her, using water and my hands, I realized the task was unlike washing a human. Tiny particles of cosmic residue floated off her, dissolving into the water and evaporating into harmless sparks. Occasionally, she would gasp softly, and I would pause, worried I had hurt her, but her expression was one of relief and gratitude. "This feels strange," I admitted. "I've never cleaned anyone like this before." Lasara smiled faintly. "Humans underestimate themselves. You are more capable than you know, more attuned to energies than your kind admits." Time became fluid. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours as I worked, and the world outside my window seemed to dissolve. There was no night or day, no concern for homework, deadlines, or mundane worries. There was only her and me, and the quiet ritual of cleansing. "You are human," she said softly, breaking the silence. Yet your presence is comforting. Most beings flee from the responsibility of touching cosmic matter. I hesitated, then asked the question that had been gnawing at me since the start. Why me? Why now? Her gaze met mine, unwavering. Because the bond is rare. A human's purity of intent, combined with physical care, creates a resonance I can survive on. I have traveled across light years to find someone who can connect with me not through fear, not through power, but through trust. I felt a shiver down my spine. This wasn't just science fiction coming to life. This was an intimate, inexplicable link forming between two worlds. Hours, or what I assumed were hours, passed. Slowly, the cosmic residue dissipated, leaving her skin glowing with a soft, warm light. I leaned back, exhausted, watching as the last few motes of luminescence floated away. It is done, I said, my voice hoarse. Lysara stretched, flexing her otherworldly limbs, her body now radiating health and purity. Thank you, human. You have not just cleansed me. You have saved me from corruption. There is a darkness I could not fight alone. You have given me balance. I sat back on the bed, trying to process what had just happened. Balance? I'm just a person. I don't even know what I did. Her eyes sparkled, and she leaned closer, placing a hand on my shoulder. What you did cannot be measured by words. You acted without hesitation. You trusted me. And in doing so, you bridged the divide between human and cosmic. My mind was spinning. Cosmic beings, light years of travel, energies beyond comprehension, and yet here she was, sitting beside me, her hand warm against my skin. Will you stay? I asked, almost afraid of the answer. Lysara tilted her head, considering. I must continue my journey. My path stretches across the stars. But our bond will remain. I may return human. Or perhaps our destinies will intertwine in ways you cannot yet see. I wanted to ask a million questions, to understand every detail, but the words wouldn't come. All I could do was nod. She rose, and the room seemed to pulse with her energy. Sleep now, she said. You will need it. Before I could respond, she shimmered, and in an instant, she was gone. The air felt lighter, warmer, and yet I was left with a lingering sense of awe and unease. I lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment over and over in my mind. Days passed, and I struggled to reconcile the experience with reality. Could I truly have touched a cosmic traveler? Cleansed her body? Formed a bond across galaxies? Then one night, I felt it again, a soft vibration like a pulse in the air. I turned toward my window, and there she was, just beyond the glass, floating silently. She waved, and I waved back, feeling a strange mixture of joy and longing. It became a ritual. Every few nights she would visit. Sometimes I would help her with tasks that seemed mundane to her but extraordinary to me. Cleansing, tending to wounds, or simply sitting in quiet companionship. And with each encounter, I learned more about the universe, about dimensions beyond my comprehension, about particles that danced in patterns I couldn't see, about life forms that existed in energies rather than flesh. And yet, despite all the wonder, it was never just about the cosmic. It was about connection. Trust. The unspoken understanding that even in the vast emptiness of space, bonds could form in the smallest gestures. One night, after what felt like months of these visits, Lysara spoke more seriously than ever before. Human, she said, her voice almost trembling, there is a threat coming. A darkness that even I cannot cleanse alone. But with you, we might stand a chance. I swallowed hard. Threat? What kind of threat? Her eyes glimmered with stars. one that seeks to consume the light of beings like me. The residue we cleansed is not just pollution. It is the mark of decay spreading across worlds. It is inevitable, but together perhaps we can fight it. My heart raced, but something inside me surged with courage. Then I'll help, whatever it takes. A small smile curved her lips. I knew you would say that. You are more than human, in the ways that truly matter. From that night onward, my life was irrevocably changed. The quiet world I once knew, school, work, and ordinary worries, became a backdrop to cosmic adventures. Together, Lasara and I combated residues of decay, purified tainted worlds, and slowly learned the ways of interstellar energies. And yet, through it all, the intimacy of that first cleansing remained sacred, a memory of trust and vulnerability that transcended galaxies, reminding us that even the vastest cosmic distances could not diminish the power of connection between two beings. I often think back to that 3 a.m. moment. The fear, the uncertainty, the surreal touch of alien skin, and yet the profound bond that emerged from a simple act of care. In the end, it was not just the cleansing of her body that mattered, but the awakening of something deeper within me. Something that knew, without doubt, that even in an infinite universe, we are never truly alone.